Hello, my name is Forrest Arnold and I'm 70 years young. I became a member of the Austin Organic Gardeners Club in 1983. I had just moved from Houston to Austin to get a job with Lower Colorado River Authority and knew the club was here. I became a member because the club was a working practical garden club, and the speakers and the members were very friendly, and they shared their information with me and answered my questions on how to garden organically in the difficult soils of Austin and its difficult climate. My favorite plants to grow here are longhorn okra, which is a 10-inch long okra, multiplying onions, and Anaheim peppers. My biggest gardening failure was killing my garden, one of my gardens, for 3 years. What I had done was bought coastal Bermuda hay to mulch with in my garden. And in Texas, coastal Bermuda is raised by spraying an herbicide on it. Well, when I take that hay and put it in my garden, when the hay decomposes, it drops that herbicide back in the garden and killed my garden. It took 3 years for that stuff to wash out of my garden soil. Some of my fondest memories with the club are when we take our informational booth and go out to garden shows. We've had information booths, organic information booths, out at the Austin Garden Show, Zilkerfest, Flororama, and it gives a chance to sit at the booth and talk with avid gardeners for hours, sharing stories and information. So it's just one of the blessings of being with the club. We even took the booth, reached out into Central Texas and went up to the Waco Lawn and Garden Show. And it was a lot of fun there, showing people beneficial insects like ladybugs, and showing that to people who'd never heard of a beneficial insect before. Many things have changed with organic gardening through the years I've been here at the Austin Organic Gardeners. To start with, in the 1970s, a co-founder of the club, Charles Huntley, and would get with Malcolm Beck, who owned Gardenville, and they would buy a railroad car full of rock phosphate bags to ship over here to Texas so that we could have organic, slow-release phosphate fertilizers. They would bring the car over here. The members and Charles would unload the car here in Austin and send the rest down to San Antonio for Malcolm Beck. The importance of slow-release fertilizer compared to synthetic chemical fertilizers is that the synthetic chemical fertilizers are very water soluble, so they have a tendency to wash away into rivers and lakes, causing environmental problems, and rock phosphate fertilizer just doesn't do that. Another story is that Charles Huntley would buy Thuricide, a caterpillar disease, in bulk and pour it into Coca-Cola bottles to bottle it up to sell to members at the club. And they also bought powdered seaweed. This was very important since many of these things just were not available in the Austin area. Nowadays, in just about any nursery, even the big box stores, carry the basic organic materials and products. And of course, you can buy the rest of everything online too, like beneficial insects, beneficial nematodes, all sorts of good products and insects and creatures. So it's changed completely. I'd like our future generations to understand the basics of organic living on the earth. When you feed the soil organisms with the nutrients that they need, you get healthy soil. This healthy soil releases nutrients to the plants for them to grow healthy and to resist insect and disease damage. From the healthy soil and the healthy plants, human beings get their own health. So this is very important for our health and the health of the planet. And to sum it up, I was talking to an acquaintance in East Texas who had converted from chemical to organic growing of his large vegetable garden. And now he was providing organic vegetables to his friends and neighbors. And I asked him, "Does organics make sense to you?" And he looked at me and said, "Forrest, organics just makes all the difference in the world."